Hello, my name is Juan Pablo del Castillo, and I'm going to present you my una, dos, tres. The primary reason many students suffer financially throughout their college years is that we are often impulsive, mostly due to being young and relatively inexperienced in living on their own. Most students do not fully understand the true meaning of expense when living solo, often leading them to put less value on money for necessity rather than amenities. With good habits, we can also learn the value of many different financial tactics and the risk of relying too much on riskier financial alternatives. Going into full details on the value of personal finance for a student is very hard. Also, basic skills must be learned throughout life experiences. The world has become a much complex one. With each year that passes and being independent is a challenge that is far more difficult than ever. What is really the impact on how well do you manage your own money? When it comes to college students, financial decisions are not that transcendent. Many involve low risk decisions and small debt. Many colleges often do not include this aspect of personal finance, but if they do, it is a much tougher decision that any students have taken up to that point in their lives. It's not an exaggeration to say that money is one of the most important aspects of living life. Many people spend the entirety of their life needing money, making money, or training to make even more money, or actually making it so they can afford all of life's many expenses. With that being said, one cannot deny that the modern day numerous expenses call for personal financing and management for almost everyone. Some framework on this project is that a study made in 2019 by companies and Sally Mae revealed that around 59% of college students believe that they have good management skills. The intention of this study and the theoretical framework is to review that what elements are vital when it comes to money management and all the aspects around this concept. A very important aspect that surrounds personal finance is budgeting. The concept of budgeting starts from the personal aspect. A personal budget is a financial plan that allocates future income towards expenses, savings, and debts. In the case of college students, that refers to either student loans or basic expenses like credit cards, debit cards. The questions that resume this concept is where does all the money go? Variables, methods, and materials. There will be two main variables that will determine this experiment. One will be income. How much income is someone receiving and how well do they manage it? According to the other variable, spending. On what things do people need to spend their money on? The materials for this experiment are a Google Forms survey, and the characteristics for this survey are 8 college students from private colleges in Mexico City. Average income from 10,000 to 15,000, and outcome to 3,000 to 6,000. Una, dos, tres. The methodology I used for this project was applying a survey to two different groups in order to compile enough information to do graphs, charts, and comparison of two different populations and their habits of personal finance. Group 1 will be current college students, and within that group of college students, I divided that group between independent college students, money independent, and college students with no independence, income wise. Group 2 will consist of former college students, and again I divided this group in independent income and dependent income. These were the results collected. These were the post questions for the survey, and these were the overall survey results after interpreting responses on Google Forms. This experiment shows that in private schools in Mexico, there is a more or less equal distribution on people that have independent and dependent income. Even though the sample size is quite small, results were as expected. The validity of this experiment was based on the correlation of variables that include more income equal poor personal finance habits. People described their debts in this question, and later it helped me approximate their outcome. In today's world, we need to take care of credit. From renting a car to reserving an airline ticket or hotel room, credit cards have also become a necessary convenience. However, using credit card wisely is critical to building a solid credit history and maintaining physical fitness. Results came out as expected, and the survey was the best way to show this type of information and later proving the hypothesis. Dos, tres. This survey helped distinguish and segmentate each person to their respective group. After the groups were clearly distinguished, a second survey was applied to know the second classification, independent or dependent income. After the survey was filled out, the data gathered was very useful and easy to process when doing graphs. By doing graphs and tables, I was able to compare and contrast different categories of personal finance and money management. What I did first was comparing answers from each group classifications to later compare at a larger scale group 1 and 2, building an infographic showing tables, graphs, and statistics. After building and processing data, a conclusion was reached on whether the research question was answered or not, and what could have gone differently in order to accomplish the posed question. In question regarding their personal habits as spenders, the hypothesis is proven. With more income comes less responsibility when spending money. As they have greater outcome, they tend to spend on more necessary things. People with less income tend to care more for their money and therefore have better personal finance habits. The key implications and key takeaways from this project was, after the realization of this experiment, putting into perspective, managing your own money is one of the most important skills one must learn heading into adulthood. Making good decisions from the very start will help pave the way to a healthier, more responsible financial life. When it comes to making money, everyone gets worried and anxious, but often the bigger picture is missed. What comes after making money? The simple answer to this is learn to manage it. This experiment shows on a minor scale the correlation income has and how this impacts someone's personal finance habits. Later on, I would like to prove this hypothesis on a larger scale. These are the references that I used to build this project.